Trayvon, and that was another.
Gosh,
but that was another mess up situation. Florida really needs to change the law because another dude just died for the same situation.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Trayvon's lawyer was a load of crap.
Nah, Trayvon Martin, no, because I'm gonna tell you, the stand your ground law is man, that thing is nasty. I actually read this, was reading up on this law because since it was happening so often, bruh, if you feel threatened at any point in time in Florida, if somebody you feel they're threatening your life and you can prove just a little bit that they were threatening your life, you get off. Trayvon Martin was not threatening this man's life at all. Trayvon Martin lived in that neighborhood. He walked to the store, got him some Skittles and an Arizona drink, and was walking back home. Yeah, he might have had on a black hoodie, but who was he talking to? Nobody. Who was he bothering? Absolutely nobody. He lived in that neighborhood because he walked in those gates because he knew he lived there. Not because he had a thing or he felt like, oh, well, I'm going to see what's in this house. And then the operator of the police force told him, do not pursue this.
That was a point I thought that needed to be solidified.
And it was solidified, but even in the same sense, the fact that law stands in Florida, well, all they had to do was prove to the jury of his own peers that he felt threatened.
But that's the thing. How do you feel threatened when someone's walking away from you?
Bro, but I get it, but this is how that case went.
I think the lawyer did a bad job. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because here's a valid point.
Here's a valid point.
The operator told him not to proceed, and he did it anyway. Yep. Took the law in his own hand.
Yep.
Right. How long did he have the gun? When did he first buy the gun? What was the police reports on the robberies that were happening?
Because they were very.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
With the robberies that were happening, and when he bought the gun, when's the last time he pulled it out on them?
Pulled it out on who?
The people that were robbing people. You see where I'm coming?
But I see where you're going, but that part there is irrelevant to the case, and I'm gonna tell you why it is irrelevant to the case. It doesn't matter how many times you had to pull it because that's never going to be documented.
No, wait. If he had the gun and the question was asked to him, how many times have you had to pull that gun out? And if he even said once, when on Trayvon Martin, how many robberies have they had in that area within the year that he bought the gun?
Okay. You can say
so how is it that he felt threatened by one black boy walking down the street versus
somebody that's robbing people? I completely understand what you're saying, but the fact still remains. And if you actually read the case, they asked him questions like that. It's the fact that you have to convince the jury otherwise. You know how he got off? His parents, his father's a judge. And his mother is something high within not Congress, but within the system of the state of Florida. They made calls, they pulled a few strings, and then, no offense, but when you have a jury of people that have the same mentality that you do, what makes you think? Because that's not the judges. It wasn't the judge's call to get him off. They had to take this trial to a jury. The only goal for that lawyer is to convince the jury that this man was wrong. And think about where you're at. You're in the state of Florida. Hit down. Come on.
If you had a black lawyer, you could get it done. That's how I feel. I feel like
no, because I'm gonna tell you, and that's another thing. If you had a black lawyer, this case would have been done a long time ago, and it still would have worked in his favor. You know what? I'm gonna tell you why. When going against, and this is no offense to anybody. We're talking about this case in general. Going against a jury that's around the same age as Mr. Zimmerman. Well, I ain't gonna call him Mr. Zimmerman, of Zimmerman. And have the same mentality of Zimmerman. around the same area as Zimmerman, got the same money as Zimmerman. You got to think about it. Once you get to a certain plane, you only deal with people that have like minds, right? You don't even reach back to people that are below you because they're beneath you. So whenever you're on that plane or on that platform with people that have the same mentality that you do, you're going to think the same thing because you're going to see things the same way. You're not going to look at it as, well, dang, why did he chase the kid? Like, if the kid lived there, then what was the point? And also the fact is, they didn't even want his parents living there because they were some of the few black people that lived in that neighborhood, in that gated community in Florida. His people had to move after that.
Of course, because they were going to.
But then look at what happened to the place. The equity went up when they moved out. Ain't that messed up? Because of the fact that this is a black family living in this 80% white neighborhood. And right now, you got people in Florida that are neo-Nazis that are going out for mayor.
But that's you know what sometimes when I hear how people can do that, when you're a black person and you live in poor and you're around other poor people and you got there's the drugs and there's a whole bunch of crimes being caused around the community. When you can't come together, as black people, if we can't come together, because we got to the point where we couldn't even go to a party in a club, with each other, for, past 12 o'clock. After past 12 o'clock, somebody's getting shot.
Shot and beat up.
Yeah. So how can I expect another race to respect me as a black man when I'm around my own black people and I'm fearing for my life? You know what I'm saying?
But you also can't say that because every black person is not the same.
It's not.
But they always ask us to say, "Hey, I'm not the same. I'm not that white person. You shouldn't treat me like." And I'm sorry, I'm not that person. You shouldn't treat me like this person.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
the way black people are stigmatized is in a group. Because like you said,
but just because you have a few bad apples, and we're humans. Just because the person to the left of me is a criminal does not mean I'm a criminal. So why do I have to fear for my life? Why do I have to fear of the fact of getting shot? Because I don't have a criminal record, bruh. I have not committed a crime a day in my. Well, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't committed a crime that has been documented. I mean, we all got a pass. I'm gonna just say that now. But it's the simple fact that why should I, as a black person, knowing that I've done absolutely nothing wrong, still have to fear for my life on a day-to-day basis just because of the color of my skin? When you actually look at these and look at the LGBT community. They got things done a lot faster than we could. You know why? Because it's a lot of Caucasian people and black people and Hispanics and Asians all collectively saying, hey, I feel that I have been treated or mistreated in this situation. But if a black person comes with the same thing in which we have for forever, you ever think about the fact that the only thing that we were asking for about 60 to 70 years ago was civil rights? Why should I have to fight for civil rights? Why should I have to fight for that when we helped you build this country? We should have the same rights as you did. Yeah, we were slaves at one point, but that's not the case now. We want our civil rights. People had to march and lose their lives.
Bro. Every white person back in the day, when black people, when we didn't have, rights. Mm-hmm. Every white person thought the same exact thing.
Same exact thing for what? About rights?
Yeah.
Are you serious? They had their rights.
No. About black people getting their rights. Every white person had the majority of white people.
Majority of them, but some of them they're actually on our side.
You see what? Well, okay. If they all thought criminal, Negro, my nigga. They all thought of it. And they all wanted to fight against it. A couple of white people were like, you know what? Prominent people in power was like, you know what?
Pretty cool.
I think they're ready.
Ready?
That's
wow.
It's hard to hear. It's bad to hear.
Wow.
But that's what.
But you have to.
But listen. I'm not saying this right. I'm just saying that, you know, some people were like they're ready. They're ready because it usually takes a certain type of showing of intelligence in order for people to consider who you are as a person.
Our entire lives as black people.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that as a group of black people coming together, fighting for the same cause, that made us as an African American community stronger. Now, if you put us together, you may have a fight. You may have guns going out, but that's what I'm trying to take. That's the stigma. So then when you're an African American person fighting for rights, fighting for equal liberty, fighting for people that that's being mistreated by by police officers who don't know how to really police, you find yourself trying to fight for rights of people being mistreated, or you're fighting for everybody because as soon as you get one bit of sympathy from one person, everybody's going to say, I deserve that type of sympathy too. So what if I rob? So what if I steal? So what if I kill? Okay. That's a part of America. I'm only living out the
what
ritualistic
you call the American dream. But this is what I'll say to that. For the rights and the things that we've been asking for as a black community for forever, you have to think about, okay, people don't understand, neither do they want to understand, because of the color of my skin. First and foremost. That's something I can't change. I'm not going to bleach my skin. I'm not going to conform to the things that you feel like I should do just as a black person. Now,
and that's what Prescott thought. That's exactly what Prescott thought.
No. This is what Dak Prescott thought. Dak Prescott was like, well, if I want to start, I might need to say this.
But he said it.
But he said it because of the fact that he might really don't believe that what is going on in the NFL right now is going to help. But it is causing and raising awareness of the things that are going on. Not only that, these coaches and these owners are pretty much slave drivers. They don't care about these players. They care about
dollars. Slave drive me for $1 million. I'll go out there and I'll pull a cart for $100 million for 7 years.
Yeah, hold on. But wait, there's more. Because if you sit on that bench for that 1 year and they're like, you know what? We don't like you. Matter of fact, I don't like the shoes that you're wearing. Peace. Then what?
Give me my guarantee.
You don't get a guarantee.
Give me my guarantee. If my contract will say guarantee.
Only first, second, maybe third rounders get guaranteed.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
They're the only ones that get the guarantee.
I give you that.
They're the only, but everybody else, and you got to look at a lot of these guys that were 4th, 5th round picks that actually came out to be some of the best players. Where did Tom Brady end up? Tom Brady was what? 5th pick? Well, no, not 5th pick. Like what? 5th round? He wasn't that good of a quarterback coming out of college.
Yeah.
But then he worked his way up to the starting position, won Super Bowls and everything like that. But if he would have got cut his rookie year, you think they would have gave him that money? They would have gave him a few thousand.
But that goes to
$100,000 and that's it.
But that goes to what you're saying. You can't help it if a few people don't make it.
But you can't help it if a few people don't make it. But what I'm saying is more towards this protest. It's disheartening to see a black man that doesn't understand really what it is to be black. I don't